All right, welcome to the second installment. I'm Scott Cloutier again. This is my wife Allison. This is the second video for our Carnivore Challenge. Today is day 7, so 1 week into the Carnivore Challenge, and we have some results so far, some updated results, so watch till the end. Shouldn't be that long of a video, and you'll get to hear how much fat loss we've had so far. We did do our measurements. So at the end of the challenge, we will be telling you how many inches we lost as well. We won't go through that every single week, just because it's a lot of measuring and it would take up a lot of time that we're not going to go ahead and deal with. But first, we'd like to talk a little bit about what else we're doing, not just diet. It's called intermittent fasting. So the way I've been doing it, I usually, you'll hear it called an eating window. They suggest anywhere from 4 up to maybe 12-hour eating window per day. I normally have mine adjusted down to about 4 to 5 hours usually a day. I get off work, I'll come home, I'll break my fast normally with my bacon and eggs, and then I'm trying to have all of my food in, which is my bacon and eggs, obviously for one meal, and then my steak and or my liver will be normally the next meal. I did have some chicken wings this weekend instead, so it does help to break it up a little bit. But like I said, I normally get home around 3 or 4, and I'm trying to have all of my food eaten by 7 p.m. So from 7 p.m. all the way until 3 or 4 o'clock the next day, I'm fasting. So that's how I've been doing my intermittent fasting. I highly suggest intermittent fasting added into your keto or carnivore type diet. Right now we're on the carnivore diet pretty strictly for the challenge. Anything to add?
Yes, so how I've been doing my week, I would start off with coffee in the morning, and I would just put just salt in that, and no sweetener, no cream for most days. I think one day I did have some cream, and this morning I had some butter in my coffee. Just a little bit though, hopefully not to throw me off my fast. But I have pretty much the same fasting schedule as Scott. I might eat right before he gets home, so that when he gets home and he's doing his thing in the kitchen at about 3:30, I'm not in there in his way. And boy, this week has been rough, let me tell you. Oh, it started off well, but then Friday I have a monthly luncheon that I go to, and it's always a buffet. So I went to the luncheon, and it was at the Officers Club on base, and they had a wonderful spread, but I picked out some salad and some roasted chicken and some roast beef. The roast beef had gravy on it, so I scraped as much of the gravy as I could off. And then there was this amazing looking tray of macaroni and cheese, so cheesy and creamy. So I put one macaroni noodle, just one. People were laughing at me going through the line. One macaroni noodle on my plate, and I get to the table, sit down. First thing I do is I lick the cheese off that macaroni noodle and throw it away. And it was terrible. It wasn't worth it. The cheese was not real cheese. People were saying the macaroni was sweet. There was something weird in it. I don't know. But the chicken was really good. So I pretty much ate the chicken and salad. I did not like the roast beef that they had. But that was rough. And then Saturday, Friday night, we added a little vodka into our carnivore. I haven't figured out what part of the cow or the animal vodka comes from. I guess the potato animal, but we added a little vodka in, and that is not a good idea. when you haven't eaten all day. So Saturday I spent the day in bed and I just had to have saltine crackers. So knocked myself out of ketosis, ruined the rest of my day, but got right back at it today, Sunday. And to celebrate our 1 week on Carnivore, we went to our favorite restaurant. It's a Brazilian steakhouse where they bring you out all kinds of meat on skewers, and oh, so good. So that was our celebration of our 1 month Carnivore. We'll do a video.
1 week.
1 week,
1 week.
sorry. We'll do a video of the restaurant and what all you can get at a Brazilian steakhouse. They're all over the U.S., all over the world. So hopefully you can find one near you if you're interested in doing carnivore or keto, because they're a wonderful choice.
Excellent food and easy to stay carnivore or at least keto there for sure.
Yes.
Anyway, some of the benefits that we're getting from this intermittent fasting. Also, let me just say, I would probably start with a bigger eating window if you're just starting to get into this keto or carnivore lifestyle and are just learning about intermittent fasting. Start with a larger eating window. You don't want to be starving to death before you break that fast. And one of the good things about carnivore and keto is you're thinking to yourself at first, I'm not going to be eating hardly anything. I'm going to be hungry all the time. That's just not true. Although, like I say, I eat 4 pieces of bacon and 4 eggs and a steak, and that's pretty much all I eat every day. I am really not that hungry, except right before I break my fast. I start getting hungry right before I break my fast. And that's, I think, just because my body is used to it. So that's one of my suggestions. I would suggest a bigger eating window at first, and then narrow it by an hour or 2 every day or every few days until you're comfortably in, a 12 to 20 hour fast before you eat again. But there are multiple benefits of fasting. You want to go ahead and tip some of those off?
The first and most obvious benefit of fasting is fat loss. If you're not eating, you're losing fat. Your body is not burning the sugar or the glucose because you're not consuming it, so your body is burning fat. And it helps to keep your insulin low for longer periods to help your body burn that fat.
Or if you don't know, the insulin level being low is or can be important, especially for the type 2 diabetics out there. So the fasting can really, really help you. When you eat, as you probably know, your insulin level spikes, especially if you're eating the standard American garbage diet, carbs and more carbs and sugar. Mm-hmm. So you're going to spike your energy, or your insulin, sorry. Then it's going to come back down, and 4 or 5 hours later, you're going to eat again. Okay, you see that how that cycle goes on the standard American garbage. When you're eating in a smaller window, you're not going to have those insulin spikes. You will still spike when you eat, at least a little bit, but your eating window is a lot smaller, so you have a lot less spikes throughout the day.
Okay. Fasting or intermittent fasting also helps with providing you natural human growth hormone and during your workouts, so that you gain muscle. Gaining muscle also helps you to lose fat. You also have improved immunity, so you'll get sick less because your immune system is optimized during fasting periods. Autophagy is where your body is using up your dead skin cells to repair parts of your body, make new skin cells, make healthy skin cells. So some people that have been doing keto and carnivore for a while have noticed that they've gone out in the sun for hours and they didn't sunburn. That's because their body has created better, stronger skin so that you're not having to put the toxic sunscreens onto your body.
And it's not just the skin cells, it's all the cells. All the cells in your body can get kind of worn out, or parts of them get worn out. When you do intermittent fasting and your body gets into autophagy, it's like recycling. It recycles all those parts of all those cells. So like she was saying, a lot of people that have a lot to lose, when they lose it, they have all the excess skin hanging off and everything. Autophagy helps greatly with that, to make it so you don't have a bunch of loose hanging skin, while it's recycling all of the pieces and parts to the cells that are maybe a little bit damaged or something's wrong with them. So they're recycling the other pieces and using them to create new cells. Your body's doing that automatically while you're fasting.
Fasting also improves your mood level, so you're reducing or eliminating your anxiety and your depression medications. It reduces your risk of heart attack and stroke, and it decreases inflammation and your risk for cancer. Dr. Berry, who we got all of this information from and condensed it, along with Dr. Fung, Dr. Jason Fung, but Dr. Berry recommends fasting between 14 to 72 hours. So just 14 to 18 or so hours would be intermittent fasting, but extended fasting would be fasting more than a day. So he says that up to 72 hours for the optimal autophagy and fasting effects. One book I recommend is Lies My Doctor Told Me by Dr. Ken Berry. He is where we've based all of our keto information on for the most part. And for fasting, I've read 2 times already, The Ultimate Guide to Fasting by Dr. Jason Fung. And I got that on audio version so that I can listen to it while I'm quilting or driving or whatever.
I have not done the extended fasting yet. I don't know that I will for sure. I can do the 20-hour intermittent fast, no problem, but I seem to maybe have a mental block when it goes to an entire day. It seems like a lot to me. They do have challenges every once in a while. Maybe I'll get in on one of those and just give it a shot one time and see. But as of right now, I personally have not done an extended fast. I'm strictly intermittent fasting right now.
Me too.
Want to give them my results?
Yes.
Okay, so I started the Carnivore Challenge last week at 189.8. I weighed yesterday when I woke up at 181.3. So a total of 8.5 pounds down. So 8.5 pounds of fat loss. I don't expect that again this coming week. I think most of it was probably water weight, because again we went from the standard American garbage diet to carnivore. And so what happens is when you're eating all those carbs, your body's keeping a whole lot more water. About 3 times the amount of carbs you take in, that's how much water your body's holding. So when you stop eating those carbs, you're naturally going to flush that. So I believe a lot of what I lost was water weight, and I don't expect to continue losing water weight. I expect 1 to 2 pounds probably for the rest of the challenge. But 8.5 pounds, pretty good for 1 week.
And I did not have that amount. I had 2.7 pounds, and I think that part of that is because I did wonderful throughout the week. And let me say again, I am not carnivore, strictly carnivore. I am heavy meat keto. So I did 3 days. I alternated a day of strict carnivore and then a day where I'd have salad. That's pretty much, I think, all I had until I had my Saturday mix up and had the saltines. And so now, I should have done it before this video, but I didn't. I I'm probably out of ketosis because of that. So it's going to take me a couple more days to get back in because I got sick and had to have those saltines and stuff. So, but my pants do feel looser already. So I know that there's some progress.
That's good. Losing inches is good. I did check my ketones. We have a meter. Definitely not required. And a lot of people say don't even bother with it. But I did check my ketones, and it was after we ate dinner, so I was surprised. Yeah, it's a blood ketone meter. It just pricks my finger, and I put it on there, and it tells me what my ketones are. I'm at 1.7. Anything above 0.5, you're in ketosis. So I'm at 1.7, which is perfect, right where we need to be. Again, anything above 0.5 is great. You also did it this week at one point, and we're in ketosis.
I did it on day 2, after two full days, and I was just in light nutritional ketosis. I think 0.7.
0.7, right?
Yeah.
0.7.
So that's just barely into ketosis, which is good for only 2 days. It usually takes you a few days to get into ketosis.
Right. Okay, well, that's it for this video. If you like us, please follow us. We'll be doing at least, like I said, 1 video a week, maybe more. Also, we have been posting multiple videos this week from our trip to Vietnam. Again, if there's anything you'd like to see us video here in Okinawa, which is where we live, send us a message, put it in the comments, something like that. We'll see what we can find out about what it is you'd like to know about Okinawa, and possibly go and knock out a video there. Okay, that's it. Bye.
Bye.